to date, it's really been a race. The thinking has been whoever gets the user's attention, right, is going to make the most money. So MySpace, I got their attention. Every day people say, I don't have time to go to these cool websites, but I got to go to my MySpace page. I got to check my friends. I got to check my messages. Same with Facebook. And the whole social networking effort was, gee, they go there, they don't get there through Google. They don't get there through Yahoo. Every other place, no matter what they're doing, they always start at Google unless it's their homepage or a brand they recognize. And so the mentality at last TechCrunch, and even still this, is I got to get their attention. I got to get them on Yelp. I got to get them to Twitter. I got to get them to think about my brand. And there's only so many brands each of us can hold in our heads. And so I've seen people take a more content model. I certainly see it more in Southern California, but now Northern California too, saying, I want to be close to travel content. I don't even have a website, but I have the #1 repository of cars for sale on the web. And I'll just syndicate that wherever users go to 1,000 sites. Some of the widget companies are starting to do this, but not the widgets themselves, the back end. And I think we even have some companies that we know of that have a lot of traffic, but when people are social networking, they're not buying anything, and they're not close to that. And again, that's fine, and those are great companies and great products because we all don't want to be chasing the almighty dollar around the web. But when you're trying to get revenue as a startup and you're running out of cash, you're thinking more about revenue. So more about being closer to the content and not necessarily having a website. And second is more about what actually converts to traffic. I'm hearing a lot of that starting now. It's filtering down into the startup community more and more.
I've noticed that too, that a lot of people, they want whatever their product is to be embeddable on this site or able to partner with that. What do you think, will that make it more difficult to monetize the product? I mean, what solutions are people coming up with?
No, I think it changes the business model. The initial categories that monetized on the web were all the classified categories, cars for sale, real estate, travel, and then jobs, which really could be another classified category. And then some of the subscription models around online dating, and those were the ones that really transacted a lot. Even the e-tailers, the margins were so thin, it was tough to build a model on the back of Amazon. You could do it on eBay. I think in the next year, my prediction is, so to answer your question, the business model has to change. You don't just say, I'm going to build a site, every day I'm going to drive traffic to it, convert it, and measure my lifetime value of customer. Instead, you think more about, okay, how do I amass content? How do I wrap it with monetization? How do I contract around it? How do I syndicate it? How do I protect myself? It's a little different model, yet to be determined on the web, really. And the second thing is there's a whole bunch of categories that are going to start coming online that are starting to monetize now, especially around business-to-business content, right? I am certain the organizer for this hall, when they were figuring out what caterer to get the tables from, did some online research. And they may not have transacted and said, yes, I'd like 200 tables this date to this date, but they did their research, and that's getting more organized. And the online marketers for companies like this, let me say it differently, the marketing budgets for businesses are literally where we all were in 2000 for consumer 99. They're just now thinking about monetizing online.
So one monetization solution that people have found that can travel with the product throughout the web so that it's not on just a destination site is product placement, because you can put that in an online video, you can put that in whatever your content is that's able to link into other sites. Do you think that that's going to be a viable monetization solution in the future?
Well, let me tell you, the positives around it are that the web doesn't need to have the same advertising format and marketing format that happened in radio and print and TV, an ad, right? And so product placement's very powerful. There's two negatives against it, however, that's spooked us away, right? I'll give you the easy one first, the second one's the hard one. The easy one is, when is enough is enough? When is it, look, this is obvious, this person in product placement is, I see Apple everywhere, I'm suspicious. In other words, it ends up having the same effectiveness as an ad, right? The other negative, not negative, but challenge, so I think it's going to be a big business, and I think it's going to be a good business. It's a business venture capitalists like myself should be investing in. What I don't hear enough of when I see these businesses is enough understanding of saying, this is how the budgets work today, this is how they buy today, and this is how they behaviorally buy today, and these are the behaviors in their buying behavior, budgeting behavior. This is how they ask their CFO for the check today. There is a little bit of a if we build it, they will come mentality, and I realized that did happen in keyword search with Google and Overture, who pioneered that market, those two companies. But I haven't found enough of those companies that are willing to invest to say, I have literally tried to figure out how these budgets are going to come online in a big way. They're going to come in a small, tiny way, but then you're stuck growing a company for 9 or 10 or 12 or 15 years till it's successful. So it's a market timing and market mechanism question, right? There needs to be the keyword buying market like there was in the click world, something for the brand world. Are you going to go on an exchange and buy it? They all have to be sold hand-to-hand combat over the phone. And that's a very mercurial world that a lot of the entrepreneurs I've met with don't understand well.